I'm in Shenandoah National Park in the Southern District. This is mile marker 85, the Blackrock Summit parking area. And the trailhead's right over there. And I'm going to hike to Blackrock Summit, and then after that maybe over to the summit of Trayfoot Mountain. The elevation here is 2910. Okay, so there's the parking lot right there. You just come right down here and you'll see this signpost. This is the Appalachian Trail, and we're going to go to the left and head south on the AT for about a half a mile until we get to Blackrock Summit. Two-tenths of a mile into my hike. I've been climbing the mountain a little bit. I'm up to 3,010 feet elevation. And right here you can go left or right. And from reading the signs, it looks like it's a giant loop. So I'm just going to go to the right and go to the summit this way. So we'll see what happens. Five-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm up to 3,075 feet, and just came out of the woods along the AT. That's where I came from, and looks like I'm up here near the summit area now, starting to open up. So I am gonna follow the trail around and see where it takes me. Seven-tenths of a mile into the hike. I'm at the summit of Blackrock. The elevation here is 3110. And you're looking at Trayfoot Mountain over there in the distance. Down there's the Appalachian Trail. So it's a scramble to get up here to the absolute summit. But anyway, here's a 360 pan. That's looking at Trayfoot Mountain. See if I can do this without falling off the summit here. It's only 9:30 in the morning, so that's looking towards the east because there's the sun. There's a view to the north. When I get done here, I'm going to continue hiking up to the summit of Trayfoot Mountain there. And when I get up there, I'm going to look for the foundation of an old lookout tower. I know the tower's not there anymore, but its location is shown on these old maps, and I'm going to see if I can find where it was. So I got to get down off the summit here, back down there, and maybe you can see the concrete signpost there. There's a blue blaze trail that heads off in that direction. I guess I got to go down into a saddle and then back up to get up to the summit. So let's see if I can get down off this summit without falling off. 9/10 of a mile into my hike. I'm down to 2950 on elevation, and here's where I came from, down off Blackrock summit. And this spur trail comes down here 1/10 of a mile or so to this signpost, and then if you want to go back to Blackrock, you can turn left on this trail and head back that way. I'll probably do that on my way back, but for now I'm going to continue basically straight along this trail, Blue Blaze Trail, and according to this signpost, should be a half a mile up to the turnoff to Furnace Mountain, which will be my next checkpoint. So let's head on up towards Furnace Mountain Trail. There's these white butterflies. .5 miles into my hike, I'm still climbing Trayfoot Mountain. I'm up to 3190 on elevation. There's where I came from, coming up the side of the mountain. And when you get to this sharp left-hand turn, you continue on through the sharp left-hand turn to get up to the summit. That's where I'm going. If you turn to the right here, this takes you to Furnace Mountain Trail, which is a fairly long hike from here to the edge of the park on Furnace Mountain Trail. But I'm going this way up to the summit of Trayfoot. Wow, this looks pretty overgrown here. So anyway, I'm going to bushwhack my way up here. It's supposed to be about another 2/10 of a mile up to the summit. .7 miles into my hike. This is the summit of Trayfoot Mountain. The elevation here is 3380. There's where I came from, up the side of the mountain. And once you clear the summit here, then this is a fairly long trail, Trayfoot Mountain Trail, that takes you down the other side of the mountain. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to turn almost 180 degrees and bushwhack my way back through here a couple of 100 feet along this ridge line to see if I can find where the old lookout tower used to be. I'm hoping once I get back in here a little ways it's not quite so grown up, but we'll see. If it's too bad, I guess I'll have to turn around and come back out. Well, I've wandered around up here along the ridge line in the area where the lookout tower used to be. I was hoping maybe I could find some old concrete footings or something, but I don't see anything. That's the direction I came from. Maybe you can see that there's a little bit of a still even today part of a little trail coming back here. Probably, and then there's this little bit of an open area up here. And then heading further along the ridge line, it's just dense, really dense vegetation. So it's possible that the tower was up right up here in this vicinity, and it got torn down, taken down, and then that left a clearing here, and people continued to hike up here and use the clearing area as a camping spot or so forth. And but now it's, you know, becoming more and more overgrown. Anyway, that's my theory. I don't see any remains at all of it. When I get home, I'll show you on the map where they showed it was, and this is the spot right here. So I'm going to turn around and start heading back towards my car. It's, I don't know, 2 or 3 miles probably back to my car from here. And this is up at the summit of Trayfoot Mountain. And let's see. Let me hang on a second. Let's see, the elevation right here, yeah, 3380. This is Loft Mountain Wayside. Stop here and get something to eat. It's about mile marker 79 or 80. This is a map of today's hike. It's 2 quadrangle maps taped together. The right side is Brown's Cove, 1997. And that covers from here over to this line right here. And then west of that is, the quadrangle name is Crymora, 1997. This red line here is Skyline Drive. I went into the park like I have for the last few of my hikes off of US 33. I came in from the east at Standardsville, Virginia, came up the side of the mountain and went into the park at Swift Run Gap, excuse me. That's about mile marker 65. You come south on Skyline Drive down to here. This is just a little bit above mile marker 85. So this parking area is between mile marker 84 and 85 on Skyline Drive. It's a pretty good sized parking lot, and the Appalachian Trail runs along here too. So you've got there's a bunch of trails here. You've got the Appalachian Trail, and then there's some old fire roads that are used as hiking trails now, and then there's actually a few foot trails. So anyway, when you're coming down from the north, when you're coming down this way, it'll be a right-hand turn. So you park on the west side of Skyline Drive, and then if you just look directly to the west, you'll see the trailhead, and that's the Appalachian Trail. So you get on the Appalachian Trail, and you head southbound for, maybe 2/10 of a mile, and then there'll be a split in the trail. And it really doesn't make any difference which way you go because there's a loop here that I'll explain in a minute. you can, so I just stayed on the Appalachian Trail, and Ed brought me down to an opening here. You're in the woods, and then all of a sudden you break out. Now this Blackrock area here is just a huge a pile of enormous rocks. Not a tree to be found anywhere. And so when you come down on the Appalachian Trail actually comes down and loops around Blackrock, and then it continues on south like that. So it came on down to here. Now when you get down to about this bend, this is about the best. If you're going up to the summit here, right about here is your best spot to do it. You'll see a concrete signpost talking about a trail that heads this way. But what you can do is from here, it's a fairly easy scramble up to the summit, and then you can pretty much see 360 degrees view from up here. So I took some video and some still pics from the summit here of Blackrock. Then I scrambled back down the rocks. Then I took this trail. This is some kind of a spur trail. It takes you on over this way. And then this trail here is called Trayfoot Mountain Trail. This is Trayfoot Mountain over here. So you get on Trayfoot Mountain Trail, and you'll go down into a little saddle area, and then you'll make a fairly steep climb up to here. When you get to here, you'll notice that there's another concrete signpost telling you if you turn right that you'll be hiking on Furnace Mountain Trail. Now that's a trail I haven't hiked yet. Maybe I'll hike that one sometime in the future. But what I did was I made a hard left turn here and came on up the side of the mountain up to here. Now right here is the summit of Trayfoot Mountain. And if you continue on this way, you'll be hiking along the ridge line of Trayfoot Mountain, and eventually you'll descend, okay, the mountain. But what I did was, you'll notice right here it says Lookout Tower. Now, and over here you'll see that there's a power line that was coming up here to the Lookout Tower. Okay, now that was in 1997. That doesn't mean the tower was actually standing then, but it was still, the location of it was still shown there. So what I did was from right here, I made basically a bushwhack for a few hundred feet from here over to where the tower was indicated as being. When I got here, there was a little bit of a clearing, and I looked around and bushwhacked all over this area looking for evidence of like tower footings, but I never did find any. So finally I just came back and hiked on back. Now when I got to this split, you'll recall when I was coming up, I came up this way. So on the way back I just went ahead and took the other trail. Now this trail takes you on down this way a little ways away from Blackrock, and then you come back up and you follow, you're not on the Appalachian Trail, but you're very, very close to it, and you follow that all the way back to the parking lot. I think the hike ended up being about 3.5 miles. It was a good hike and fairly short. I didn't want a long hike today because they're calling for some really bad thunderstorms later today along the East Coast, so I thought this short hike would be good to get in and get it done. And I'm home, and it's only 3 o'clock so in the afternoon, so mission accomplished. But the views from the Blackrock summit are good. So I mean, it would be worth coming here and parking and just taking a short hike to Blackrock summit and back. I don't think that would be any more than 2 miles, a mile each way probably. And that's really good views from there. There's really no views from up here on top of Trayfoot Mountain, but I decided to do it for the extra hiking exercise and also just to look for that old tower, which I didn't find. And that was the hike for today.